Hey world, this is your girl Dr. MV, and you have just tuned in to WGSN-DB Going Solo After Dark online radio station people. Listen, this is Singles Get Real with Dr. MV. Tonight we have a topic for you. We have a topic. We're talking about, is it love or is it lust? Sometimes we get this thing confused, people. I have been a victim of getting it confused myself, so I'm not passing judgment. We just gonna keep it real tonight. But we want to have a conversation. We want to expose what are some of the indicators of lust and what are some of the indicators that you really have something good. You have love happening. So if you want to learn a little bit about me, you can go to my website, drmv.net. I am an inspirational speaker, leadership trainer. I'm a coach, etc. So mainly what I like to do is speak life to people. I believe that words are very powerful, and I want to make sure that while I am living in my dash, I have an opportunity to sprinkle a little inspiration to speak words of life to people. Because if you haven't noticed, if you ever watched the news lately, people are starving for some type of hope. It's just the reality in our school system, political arena, etc. But we're not talking about that. Tonight we're talking about, is it love or is it lust? So let's just dive right in it. Okay, so many people have their own definition of what lust is and what love is. So I just decided I'm going to go and I'm going to find out what is the general definition of both. And then I also went to research, what does God have to say about love. So let's start with lust. Lust is defined as a strong craving, like it's a desire. Normally when we talk about lust, it's an illicit sexual desire. We think about sex. But you literally can lust after money. You can lust after a position. You can lust after attention. Whatever it is, it's like a strong craving. Like you just gotta have it. And lust really has no preference. It just kind of like spin the wheel, and whatever it lands on, boom, that's what it's gonna go after. It can never be satisfied. It is always thirsting and craving. No matter how many times you give into it, it's lust. You would never fulfill it. And so that's lust. Now, but what is love? Love, according to a general definition, it's defined as an intense feeling of deep affection. So it's a deep affection for someone or something. But I said, you know what? Me being who I am and the lifestyle that I intentionally lead daily, I'm a Christian and I believe in the Word of God. Every book that was ever written, FYI, was written by somebody. You understand what I'm saying? It was written by somebody, and we all hold true to whatever we believe is true to ourselves. So we take whatever was written by somebody, whoever the author of that book is, and if it speaks to us, we hold that as true. So for me, the Bible speaks to me, and the Bible, I believe, is true. And that's just my truth. So I went to 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 4 through 7. And you can check that out if you have time. And I wanted to know, what does God have to say about love? If you ever want to find out if you're capable of loving someone the way that God designed us to experience love here on earth with one another, I challenge you, give yourself this self-examination. I'm going to go through it. And you can say yes and no if you've ever implemented this. If you haven't, don't feel bad. It's an opportunity for you to begin to examine yourself and work towards the greater you, the better you. So, number one, God says that love is first patient. Listen, people, love is patient. So if you're in this relationship with your boo or whoever it is, if it's, whoever it is that you're in this relationship with, or it's a budding relationship, or you're dating, I don't know what you're doing, but whatever it is, if you're not experiencing patience from that individual, they're always rushing you, they're always impatient when you're trying to have a conversation and they want you to hurry up, that's not love. According to God, that's not love being demonstrated. Love is first patient. Man, he also then goes on to say love is kind. Woo! Love is kind, people. If you with somebody and they're not kind to you, or they were only kind that one time, then you have to question if they love you or if they lusting after you. We're going to get into the difference and how you know the difference towards the end of this. But I'm just trying to lay out a clear foundation as to what is love versus what is lust. Love does not envy. It's not jealous. Why would love have to be jealous? You understand what I'm saying? So if you're with me and I'm with you and we're open with one another, we communicate clearly. You're giving me no reason to suspect that there's any, that there's no reason. Why would I have to be jealous? All right. Love does not boast. Listen, you don't have to brag about yourself. You don't have to use your own mouth, your own words to boast about, the greatness of who you are. If I'm with you, obviously, I've already peeped game. I've already peeped the greatness. I've already assessed the wonderful characteristics of who you are. I don't need you to boast in that yourself. So sometimes we got to scale back. We got to let other people boast in us. We got to let other people uplift us. You can play it low key. You know who you are and you know what value you add, so you don't have to boast. So love does not boast. Love is not proud. Ooh, don't you, I can't stand a person who is cocky. It's just a major turnoff for me. Like, why do you have to be cocky? Like, what? So love is not proud. Look, be humble. Humble is a trait that is very attractive to me. I love a guy that is just, he know he's the bomb, but at the end of the day, he doesn't have to say it. He's just kind of playing it low key. That is a huge turn on for Dr. MV. Lord help me. All right. Love does not dishonor others. Listen, people, if you're on a date and that dude or that female is treating the waiter with total disrespect, you need to check out, period. That person is letting you know from the jump that they don't respect people who are in servant positions, because it takes a true king's heart to serve somebody else. Jesus washed people's feet. You understand what I'm saying? So what makes you think that you're any greater? Don't disrespect the servant. So love does not dishonor others. Also, love is not self-seeking. You don't have to put yourself in the limelight in a relationship. It's not all about you. It's about other people. I love to see when other people are in a position when they give back. You understand what I'm saying? So you may have this great position. You may have this great job. You may drive a great car. But when I see a guy that's donating his time back into the community, that's a huge turn on for me. Why? Because he's showing me that life is not all about him. It's about other people. And that's what makes things great. Love is not easily angered. If you got a temper, please, you are not. Listen, a temper is no good in any relationship that's trying to blossom. If a guy or a female has a temper in the relationship and they're yelling at you, they're arguing, they're physically trying to abuse you, that is not love. And that is not something you need to even try to get accustomed to in terms of you being treated in that manner. Why would you even want to waste your time with someone who's physically abusing you with words or their hands? Interpret that as, oh, he loved me, he just sorry. Are you kidding me? What? No, he has a problem and he needs help, and you need to get out of his way so he can get the help that he needs. If we continue to teach people how to treat us in a foul manner, they'll never change for the better. Whew. Love keeps no record of wrong. Listen, Linda, as the little boy says. Love keeps no record of being wrong. Listen, if I share with you something that I've done in my past, okay, and I'm opening up to you, and it's something that, I know I was wrong when I did it, right? I learned my lesson from it, and I'm sharing this with you. I trust you, and you come back maybe 2 months down the road, and you throw that back in my face, done deal, buddy. It's over. Why would you throw that back in my face if that was a vulnerable topic that I brought up in a sensitive moment of conversation that we were having? Why would you do that? So love does not keep a record of wrongs. It listens, it forgives, it moves on. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoice in the truth. Listen, the truth wins out. I do not like lies. Don't lie to me. Don't lie to me. Give me an opportunity to be an adult. I'm a grown woman. Give me an opportunity to make a decision based on your truth. Even if you were wrong in your truth and you admit to me what you did in error, give me an opportunity to decide if I want to forgive and stay or forgive and move on. But for you to lie, to keep me, you are not loving me. You're lusting me. You're being selfish, because love is not selfish. It's selfless. It's less of you and more of that individual. You're putting that person first. So God ends 1 Corinthians 13 with always hope and always persevere. Love always have hope in mind. And it always persevere, meaning that it's not weak. It doesn't give up. It keeps things moving forward despite the hurdles, despite the valleys, despite the storm in the relationship. Love perseveres. People. So then my question is, why are we so committed to the fairy tale versus reality? And I wrote about this chapter in my book, Bride, Becoming Royal in Daddy's Eyes. I wrote about the Cinderella syndrome, the fairy tale versus reality, because oftentimes the fairy tale, the reality is just too much sometimes. The reality of life, it deals with all this pain, the bitterness involved, the hurt. How could this person have done this to me, etc. You understand what I'm saying? And so the fairy tale it creates smiles. It's a fairy tale, And so oftentimes we are more married to the idea versus the reality of it all. When a couple come together at a wedding and they repeat the vows, for better or for worse, I often wonder, do we really, really, really mean for worse? Because when for worse start to really pop off, are we really committed to the for worse? What if the for worse would mean that the person that is standing before you the day of and that beautiful wedding, you guys are looking at each other and gazing in each other's eyes, and then maybe a week later after the wedding, God forbid you're in a horrible accident. Now that person can no longer walk, that person can no longer talk, that person is not even mobile. Are you committed to the worst season at that time? Or were you just committed to the fairy tale? Listen, people, my name is Dr. MV, and we are talking about, is it love or is it lust? We want to assess, who am I standing next to? Who am I spending time with? Who am I sitting across the table, exchanging, dipping in the bread bowl, trying to discover who this person? Are you lusting after me, or are you considering a journey with me called love? We're going to go to a quick commercial break, and when I return, we're going to then dissect 7 signs of lust versus love. This is your girl, Dr. MV, people. Be back soon.
Oh, yeah. Oh. Hi, this is Madam Coach Perea. Thank you for listening to this great show. I hope you stick around for Love and Pillow Talk. Hey, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Hey world, this is your girl Dr. MV, and you have just tuned into the second half of Singles Get Real with Dr. MV. This is WGSN-DB online radio station going solo after dark, people. And so tonight's topic, we have been talking about lust versus love. How do you know that you are in a lust situation or a possible love situation? So we've discussed, what does love mean according to God, 1 Corinthians chapter 13. We broke that down. And then we also reviewed the general definition of lust. And I'm going to remind you again, it means it's a strong craving, a desire. It puts you in the mind of sex. We always think about sex whenever we talk about lust. That's the primary thing we think about, but you can actually lust after money. You can lust after fame. You can lust after a lot of different things. Whatever it is you're lusting after, it presents a strong craving in your spirit. And so you can't get enough of it. It'll never be satisfied. That's when you hear people say, I never sleep. I'm always chasing this. I'm always chasing this. They're lusting after that. They can't be satisfied. And so they're bound by their own desires of lust. So love is a total opposite. Love is patient, it's kind, it doesn't envy, it doesn't boast, it's not proud, it doesn't dishonor others, it's not self-seeking, people, it doesn't easily get angered. Love keeps no record of being wrong. You're not going to bring up something I brought up in the past. Doesn't delight in evil, but it rejoices in the truth, and it always hopes and it